Also new tonight on The Current, we know a lot of you are looking forward to getting out on the water this summer. So today we are shining a light on boater safety. In fact, National Safe Boating Week begins tomorrow. Get this, estimates from the Coast Guard Auxiliary and the Iowa DNR say there are more than 30,000 registered boaters just from Dubuque to Burlington. And we have nearly 200 miles of Mississippi River in our viewing area. Wouldn't you know it though? Today is National Wear Your Life Jacket to Work Day. So we're spreading the word about ways to stay safe on the water this summer. And we have Charles Brennan with the Coast Guard Auxiliary back on The Current with us. Thank you so much for being back with us.
Thank you for having me back.
All right, first of all, we love to explain this to people. What is the Coast Guard Auxiliary?
Yeah, so the Coast Guard Auxiliary is a congressionally appointed force multiplier for the United States Coast Guard. We do everything pretty much but military and law enforcement operations. So public affairs, search and rescue, radio watch standing, chaplain support, musicians. So we cover a good gamut of things with public education and stuff. We also will supplement the active duty underway on their vessels as well as at different stations. We will supplement them with culinary support or recruiting support specialists or public affairs offices. So we're all over except in the military and law enforcement aspect of it.
Interesting. And that brings us to National Boater Safety Week. I grew up on the lake, or on the water, I should say, boating all the time. And my dad always had us do, before we got the boat in the water, you had to walk around it and do the pre-vessel safety checks. Mm-hmm. What do you recommend when it comes to these checks?
The biggest thing is making sure our drain plug is in. We find out very quickly if the drain plug is not in. But you're just looking to make sure that you don't have anything wrong with your hull, anything like that. And you don't have any invasive plant species or anything tagged onto your boat still from when you pulled it out last. Because we don't want to spread invasive species throughout our water systems. But yep, I would also check our navigational lights, before getting underway, making sure our horn works, making sure everything works before we start floating out and then realize we're either missing something or something's not working adequately.
You are so right about the plug, though. That is number one. And that kind of brings us to this idea of a float plan. What is that, and why should someone have one?
So a float plan is basically, at its simplest form, is just letting someone know where you're going. Letting someone know when you're going to leave, the description of your boat, when you're going to be coming back, any stops, and give them a time. I'm supposed to be back at 6 o'clock at night. It's now 8 o'clock. Someone should be calling I haven't heard from, my neighbor in the slip or whatever. They should be calling and getting someone to go find you, if you're past due. So at its basic, simplest form, it is just a way to make sure that our fellow boaters are safe. And they can be a very complex form and submitted to the Coast Guard. Or it could just be very simple, letting the marina know you're going out, or letting someone know that you're going to be out and what time you're planning on being back. So that way, if you're not, we can get that out, get a search out, because that is critical. Time is critical when it comes to that.
I was going to say every single second matters.
Yep.
But when we talk about boat safety, the number one thing people probably think of first is a life jacket. What should people know about life jackets?
So all life jackets have to be U.S. Coast Guard approved. On the inside flap, there should be, or on the back.
I'm checking this one right now.
Yep, it's on the back there.
It is?
Will, on the inside, on the back, it'll say U.S. Coast Guard approved. It should say it.
Imagine if my life jacket's not approved.
It is, right here.
Okay, good.
So it says U.S. Coast Guard approved, then it has the number and everything.
Nice.
Properly fitting. And when we're wearing it, it needs to be buttoned up, zipped up, whatever methods it has to be secured, it needs to be secured. And if you are under, I want to say it's 12, if I remember correctly, you need to have it on at all times in the boat. But check your local state regulations to see what age is required to have a life jacket. And I always would recommend that as soon as you hit the dock, you should have one on, whether you're a child or an adult.
Yeah.
Because as we know, some of those docks can get real slick, and we could easily fall into the water. And if we don't have it on, it's not helping us at all.
Well, speaking of help, we only got a few seconds left. So really quickly, what are cutoff switches?
So the engine cutoff switch is a device that if the operator of the boat is to either be ejected from the boat, thrown overboard for some reason, or if they get too far away from the helm, it will pull and kill the engine. It's there to help prevent propeller strikes. So if someone gets ejected, the boat would want to do the circle of death and just keep circling, and there's a potential of being hit and getting a propeller strike. And so that device prevents that. So as soon as it's pulled, that engine stops and the boat is dead in the water.
Charles, what I love about your tips every year is that they're all very practical and they're all very easy to achieve. If you're going to have a boat out there on the Mississippi, the Rock, wherever this summer, these are just some great tips to keep you, your family, and other boaters safe on the water. Charles, thank you so much for your time with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And for you guys at home, if you want to share this story, our online version is up at WQAD.com underneath the As Seen on TV tab.